Peace be upon you to all the citizens of the world. The time has come, the time when a veil of confusion is lifted from your psyche, from your spiritual being, not from the reality that has been created to cause you to live in an illusion, to cause you to be steeped in a delusional world, a world that is created to deceive you and to make you believe and understand the reality of your life is not what the heavenly life, the heavenly being that you truly are, is designed to be. We're living in a world that is brainwashing us and feeding us false information. The false information is not just on the MSN, the mainstream media. The false information permeates throughout the internet, permeates throughout the alternative media. The false paradigm of creating an enemy called ISIS, which is a proxy army, and is proof positive now to be known as a proxy army for the United States, the demonic elements within the United States, the demonic elements within Israel, the demonic elements within Saudi Arabia, all working and perpetrating a lie, perpetrating a delusion, perpetrating a scam upon the citizens of the world. You are deceived. You are victims of misinformation. You are given an enemy in order to distract you away from your real enemy. The true people, the people who can help you, the people who can stand by you, the allies in the war against these demonic elements have caused you to believe that those allies are actually your enemy. They have demonized Islam through false teachings of Islamic doctrine. They have demonized you by funding and orchestrating the prevalent opinion and ideology that only gets through to the mainstream media and even to the alternative media that Islam is your enemy. Islam is not your enemy. Islam is your friend. The word Sufi never appears in any of the mainstream media or even the alternative media. They're hiding what Sufism is and what it can do to protect you, what it can do to help you. We are in a time of critical change. We are in a time where if people do not wake up to the reality of their life, the purpose of them being a human being, if they do not break through the misinformation that has been given to them, then we are doomed to suffering the prisons and the catastrophic killing off of the population that is now occurring throughout the world. You must understand that Saudi Arabia is not Islamic. You must understand that the Wahhabi doctrine is not Islamic. You must understand that most of the people who are in the mosques, who are in positions of leadership, the imams and the heads of these mosques, are actually assets that were recruited while they were living overseas and rewarded with citizenship to Western countries. You have to understand that the migration problem is a mechanism by which to destroy you and create more hatred towards the people who actually are the meek amongst the nations, and the purpose of the migration is to destroy the unity and the strength within the nations themselves, where the migrants are moving, and in the draining of the nations in where they come. They are pawns in the scheme. They are not guilty of anything, and they should not be the subject of your hatred. Your hatred should be focused in one direction and one direction only. That direction is towards the elite of the world who are trying to exterminate you, who are trying to deceive you, who are throwing one false enemy at you after another, whether it be homosexuality, or whether it be climate change, or whether it be Islamization of the world, or the fear of migration. All of these things are one and one purpose only: to distract you away from the true enemy that you should all be unifying against and fighting against cohesively. They give you someone to hate because it is so easy to get the population to hate something, and they repeat and falsify the information and deliver it in a mechanism and a manner which brainwashes you into believing that you have an enemy which is truly not your enemy. They create a false paradigm, they create a false enemy, they create a false identity for those who are claiming to be Muslim but are not truly Muslim. They fund and promote the elements of the Islamic leadership throughout the world, which is truly false and truly misleading people into becoming very much into a paradigm of hatred and a paradigm of that is completely opposite of what Sharia actually teaches. We're here to try to emphasize this, that Islam is not your enemy, and to reiterate that Sufism is never mentioned in any of the media outlets. It's never mentioned even within the alternative media. And if you learned and understood something about Sufism, you would see the knowledge, the wisdom, and the beauty of the teachings of Islam within the confines of the Sufi doctrine, the Sufi philosophy. Technically, there's nothing called Sufism per se, but Sufism is rooted and pretty much based on a meditative exercise designed to open the senses of the heart. And once the senses of the heart are open, then a person can become and recognize what a true human being truly is. It's a methodology that allows you to reach to your heavenly self. And the only thing that can save you now in this world that is so corrupt and so delusional and so brainwashing of its populations, and with an attack that is on the physical body, the spiritual body must rise above the physical torment that is being caused by these elite through their food and through their air and through their water. They're literally trying to exterminate the world. So we're here to try to promote the meditative exercise that will rise up the warriors, the spiritual warriors, that will be able to combat the demonic effort that is designed to destroy the world. Like the true believers, the saints, the people in this world who are trying to attain to a heavenly state, there is a very small percentage of them who understand who their true God is and who they worship and why they worship that. But there's also a parallel group of people who worship demonic teachings, who worship Shaitan or Satan, and who are very much aware of what they're doing. They do gain power, they do gain magic, they do gain prestige within their own organization and group for killing people, for torturing people, for turning people towards evil. Every time they do that, they get a blessing from the powers that be on the satanic side, and they are rewarded with higher positions within that organization. Similarly, the saints and the believers on the other side are given a higher station and rank within that organization or group that is rewarded because of their reaching people and helping people to understand what their true purpose in this world actually is. So there's knowers, about 3% on one side, 3% on the other, and most of the people in the middle are not understanding what truly is happening in the world today. But we're here to tell you, and we're here to plead with you to try to increase your spiritual awareness, try to increase your spiritual power, increase your spiritual strength by coming into a meditative practice that will help you to achieve those levels and recognize what your purpose in creation truly is. You're not created here to eat. You're not here created to obtain wealth. You're not here to try to be the most beautiful and most recognized person in the world. You are here as a servant of God. You are here specifically as somebody who is supposed to know their self. Yourself is not your physical being. Yourself is your spiritual, heavenly being. And to attain to an understanding of spirituality, you must engage in a meditative practice. We're not here to sell you on what meditative practice. We will share with you what has worked for us, and if that is appealing to you, you can adopt it yourself, or you can find something else which works for you. But I would encourage you to ignore all the information and misinformation about Islam that causes you to hate Muslims, which represent a large percentage of the world's population, and stop falling for the paradigm of hate and the paradigm of division that has been created by the evil people, using that to keep the attention off of themselves. So if you can possibly research Sufism and understand what the heart of Islam is really all about, what the real Sharia does is a protection for the ability for you to develop into a real human being. That's all it's there for. It's not there to oppress people. It's not there to cause people difficulty. It's there to show you the way and show you the steps towards obtaining to your heavenly spiritual self. And anywhere that it doesn't do that, it means that it is misconstrued, it's not understood, and it's being given a black eye by the people who want to discredit it and the people who are interested in destroying it. Because that is the true enemy of the evil class of people who are trying to destroy humanity now. The biggest fear they have is that Sufism will be recognized and understood. The biggest fear they have is that every person in the world understands why they were in creation and what their responsibility is and how they can attain to a higher level of spirituality. A true spiritual human being cannot be harmed by these devils. They cannot be harmed by the demonic practices that they engage in. They cannot be harmed by their continued efforts to exterminate the world. And they will be destroyed by those people eventually. And it does not take a large amount of people to be able to combat these demonic monsters. So we are here as Shaykh Anonymous. We're here to enlighten you, to show you that the enemy is not Islam. Certainly factions that have been created and put forward are your enemy, and they want you to believe that. But the true root of Islam is not your enemy, no matter who is saying it, no matter if it's alternative media, no matter if it's other anonymous channels, no matter if it's in mainstream media, no matter if it's the governments of the world. They are lying. They are lying to deceive you, to keep you from understanding your true purpose in creation. Your true goal in life is to come to an understanding of who your heavenly self is and what your purpose is in creation. We thank you. We are Anonymous. We are Shaykh Anonymous. We are